I don't know.
You remember her, don't you? You know what I'm talking about, right? She was in Commando.
Wow. I always thought that was Dawn something else.
Is it Radon Chan or Radon Chong?
I thought you were also saying Ray Dong Chong. Yes, I do remember her. The name just didn't sound familiar. Ray Dong. Ray
Well, you had the
Dong
awkward
Chong
laugh
noodle.
where it's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
What up, Colin?
Mr. Swinbourn.
No, I was just like setting stuff up while also listening to you, so I wasn't like actively thinking at all.
You were just placating me.
Yeah, yup. Exactly.
Oh, sweet boy.
Oh, David Jaffe's live. We should
With
get
your
him
made
on.
up names.
We should get him on sometime and just not preface him in any way that like we're not a video gaming channel or anything.
Yeah, don't talk about video games at all.
Yeah, the dude who
Let me and Jeff interview him.
Yeah, the dude who created God of War.
I actually play the games.
We have Ryan interview him.
Yeah, but you don't know anything about him.
Go fuck yourself. I do too.
Yeah. Jeff still hasn't given me his PlayStation name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did.
See?
I did too.
You did?
Yeah.
I never put it into my PlayStation, and I immediately forgot it. Did you add me?
No, because you never added me.
Well, if you add me,
here on Death
I would have seen your friend request and been like, "Oh yeah, that's Jeff." Or we already added each other and we both forgot.
Yeah, that's more likely.
I'm pretty sure I also have had my setting on the PlayStation, like, since I got it as always offline. So every time I've been on playing Call of Duty, even if we were friends, you wouldn't know. It probably says, like, Spencer hasn't played PlayStation in years. When I was in Vietnam, I was living like a king, and when asked how I could live in such luxury, I said I had to blow a lot of dong to live like this.
Oh shit, Colin was Nom.
Yeah, I love that's their
Colin.
currency. My PlayStation name is Colin on bass, or Colin on bass.
That is funny to tell people, like, yeah, when I was in Nam. Last summer.
Yeah. It's like it was always sunny. Frank, you gotta stop telling people you were in Nam. You weren't there during the war. It was 1993. Oh my god!
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Adam Warlock. Appreciate it, man.
I'm not gonna remember that, but I'm trying to figure out like possibly like a once a month thing with the Patreon dudes. We were talking about doing the Friday the 13th game, but I think they might have completely taken the servers offline on that now.
Oh no, really?
At least dedicated servers. I don't know if that does like peer-to-peer hosting. If it does, then that's fine. But
aren't they gonna do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre one?
Yeah, they just announced that the same company is doing it, and that's why I retweeted it and just said fuck, because I'm like half torn where they completely botched the Friday the 13th game, and they just did the same thing with the Predator game that they just released, where it's like barely a game. The AI is all fucked up on it, and like if you're not playing against actual like player characters, it just sucks. And I'm worried that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game is just going to be a reskin of the Friday the 13th game. Like, you're just going to be doing the same sort of thing, like Escape Leatherface.
Or it's like a mobile game, and it's just Leatherface making masks.
Yeah. Well, I would rather it just be like, do a full narrative version of the original movie. And it's like you can play as all of the teens like one by one and like get different endings depending on which ones you manage to escape, or you just make it a linear narrative like a Resident Evil game and you just like fight through the Sawyer family and try to survive. But I doubt that's what we're getting because that company always does like shitty half-ass multiplayer experiences. Like the Friday the 13th game is good now, and they fucking squandered all goodwill with it.
Did they do?
And
did
it's
they
still
do the Predator one?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The Predator one is just as messy. So the Predator one has like soldiers wandering around the map, like in the jungle, like resistance fighters, like at the beginning of the original movie, and you like the resistance fighters might as well be like guys with their eyes and ears stabbed out. Like they have the worst AI ever in that game for a modern game. It's like AI from like a PS1 game. They just sort of like run in a line and get gunned down. And like the only formidable foes are like the human players. And it's just like the Friday the 13th game where it's an asymmetrical shooter. So everybody wants to play as Predator, and you end up like, even if you have Predator prioritized, you end up getting into a Predator game like every 10 matches now. It's fucking insane.
What's insane is Colin's got some great ideas. This stream needs massively lovely swinging boobies.
Yeah, I wanna be the wheelchair guy in Escape. That's what I mean, though, is I think it would be cool where
read that one.
all the characters like handle a little bit differently and stuff like that, but you do it just like you're caught up in that first movie for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And yeah, like the wheelchair kid, like, you know, maybe he can roll a little bit faster than everyone else, but he takes less damage before he's killed or something like that.
How'd you get photos of me?
Oh my god. Fat Jeff.
For our fans, Colin wanted.
Sounds like we should cut the noise and play Payday 2. I actually just reinstalled that recently, but haven't played it at all. I just know the Friday the 13th game is cheap, so I need to see if the peer-to-peer stuff works, because every time I ever did that, just playing with a group of friends, like a full lobby, it's a shitload of fun, because no matter who's playing Jason, you can all just like fuck around, bust jokes, and kill each other. But the game was just plagued with bugs and shitty people cheating and stuff, and then there was just like people like trolling and griefing people. The like fun thing to do after the first like 6 months of the game being out was people would go and find all the key items you need to escape, and then just like go drop them in the lake or throw them in the woods. So then they fixed it so the items couldn't get dropped in the lake, and they would land on the beach shore, so people just started hiding them in the foliage in the woods. So it's like the gas can you need to gas up the car. Some dickhead would just take it out and throw it in the middle of the woods where you couldn't find it. And it was just like, well, no one's escaping now. And I'm guilty of doing it too. Every once in a while I'd get drunk and be on a stream and be like, all right, guys, we're going to fuck this entire lobby. But it's like, after a while, that just became all it was. And like, Jason would run around trying to kill everybody, and it would just be like, everybody fucking with Jason and not even trying to kill him. They just keep like flaring him over and over again and beating the piss out of him and knocking him out, and then just not escaping because they couldn't. Because some asshole would take like the phone fuse and everything else and hide it out in the woods, so you couldn't call the police, or you just had to wait for time to run out. So you end up playing like a 25-minute match of just people running around like dickheads.
It is weird that there's not more like modern franchised horror games. Like, Nightmare on Elm Street is perfect for a video game nowadays. Hellraiser would be amazing.
Me and Mitch are kicking around ideas, and Mitch has a buddy who I can't, like, say much about him, but he works for, like, a much bigger IT company doing, like, coding already. Like, he's a programmer and stuff, but for, like, much more complicated shit than video games. So we're now talking about doing something in Unreal Engine 4, and with this dude's help, we'll actually be able to do like a full-fledged like feature game, especially if we can get that like MetaHumans full release, which is supposed to be coming before the end of the year, hopefully, if not early next year. If we can do that, then we don't really need to worry about too much character modeling or anything, but it would be really fucking cool to do that, get a built prototype going, and I'm hoping we can apply for one of the grants that Epic Games does, where basically you just need to agree to release your game on the Epic Games Store, and they give like indie devs up to $1 million to release a feature game. It's not always that much money, but they will just like grant you. They put in like, I think it was like $1 billion on the first go on it, and then another 750 million after that. And then if they win this lawsuit with Apple, they're probably going to fucking like triple down on it because they're just insane. But yeah, we want to do something with horror, and that's kind of the idea, was like make something not necessarily attached to any existing IP or anything, but make something that stands on its own and is like an actual fun horror experience. And I think we're going more more story driven, because that's what I've wanted for years. Like, I thought it'd be so cool to play through a fucking like slasher movie narrative, like you're like playing through Friday the 13th, or you're playing through that Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, could you imagine like the weird kinds of fucking mini games you could come up with for a Nightmare on Elm Street game for having to escape the different nightmares and shit?
Well, yeah, like, now is the perfect time because you couldn't do this stuff back when those movies were out. You know, the games couldn't really create that kind of, you know, mystical, nightmarish world where it switches back and forth between reality and the nightmares. But now you can, so it's like perfect. Why, you know, we need this game.
Oh shit, Colin knows a guy too. Find out if they work in Unreal. I'm open to it. I don't know what the scope of things is going to be right now. We're more focused on, because I'm like, if we can build a little prototype, like a slice of what the game is supposed to be, and make that scary, like even if it's just like a 5-10 minute experience, I'm like, then we just need to like extrapolate on that. And I have a solid idea for it. But it's like, it's one of those things where we'd need money, because with horror, you need like good voice acting and audio and all this stuff to come together. A lot of things converging to make it happen.
I don't want to give it away, but is it one of the things that you and I talked about a long time ago? About making it into a comic, and that might have been a video game as well?
The kaiju one?
No. It was another one. It was a horror one.
Oh, you'd have to refresh my memory. We've talked about a lot. The kaiju one I haven't brought up either, but if we can find a multiplayer coder, that'll be really easy with metahumans. Yeah,
we came up with some sick ideas for that kaiju game.
Which one was the horror one?
Do you want me to just say the title?
Oh yeah, you can. I don't.
It was it Eternal Darkness or Endless Darkness?
Oh yeah. So that was going to be kind of like a Diablo thing. That was what I would love to do with Mitch, but that would be so big that we essentially need to make sure we all work good as a team and can finish something first, which is why I'm saying like something narrative and story driven that isn't like an action RPG would be much easier, because that game is going to have like balancing and all sorts of shit. It has like different player classes. But yeah, that would be Eternal Darkness is already a game. That was like a GameCube game way back in the day that's like Lovecraftian and really trippy and fucked with you. But yeah, I just called it Endless Darkness in my notes, and it's kind of like Diablo in like an 80s horror movie setting is the easiest way to describe it. But we were talking about more agency in the mechanics, where you would actually be like doing combos and stuff like that instead of just like mindlessly clicking on stuff like Diablo.
Did you ever play Evil Within?
People who know people. I've played a little bit of the first one. I believe they're on Game Pass now, so I have them. And I was actually planning on playing through both of them soon, because I heard the first one is way more like Shinji Mikami's stuff, like his old stuff, and more survival horror. And the second one is more action horror. I think it's actually the second one that I played because it's more fast paced. So that's why I was like, I'm going to go and play through both of them, because I heard the first one's more of a survival horror. And
the second one's more like action heavy, like you're getting guns and having fights with these things more.
That's more what I'm aiming for this first one, where I'm like, we could nail, like, I can write a really good story that pans out to be like a 3-hour long survival horror story or so. Because people seem to forget the original Resident Evil games aren't very long. Like, and even some of the newer ones aren't very long. Hang on.
While you're doing that, hey Ryan, when you're coloring this and you're doing shadows with the colors, do you do like the magenta method, or do you have some other way that you do shadows?
Magenta method? What the fuck?
Yeah, like you paint all your shadows with magenta, and then you set it to like an overlay, and then you just drop down the opacity.
I don't really like doing that. Or sorry, go ahead, Spencer.
I was gonna say you can paint shadows with any color. It more goes off of your color theory and what you're going with.
Well, no, I'm just asking him what his preference is.
Like with my own work, I don't like to build in like I guess sometimes I do stuff like that if I do some kind of like overlayer with my shadows, like or even highlights. Sometimes I'll do like a hard light layer or something like that for both highlights and some of the shadows. But I don't really do a method like that because this stuff I'm trying to make everything work in flats as much as possible, and then add a couple gradients here and there, and that just makes it pop. So I don't do any I definitely don't like the method, and this doesn't mean people shouldn't do it because I have friends that do it, but I don't really like the method of doing all like in oil painting where you paint your gray layer, basically your shadows and grays and blacks, and do all that, and then color over that. I like to use color to
fucking glazing assholes
to achieve the level differences.
When I found out that's like what 90% of oil painting was, I was like, this is bullshit, and I'll never be able to do it.
Yeah,
like when you good.
I was gonna say I have a book on painting by the old masters, and it's really cool because it breaks down each one, like Donatello and Caravaggio and all these guys did it. And I think it was like Leonardo used the grayscale thing that you were talking about, and then Caravaggio used like burnt sienna and burnt umber and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For his base layer, and then built it out. But it's kind of cool seeing how each one of them did it.
Well, that's like the different teachers and stuff will teach you like a lot of guys will be like that base coating you do, even if it's not like your shadows, even just like a solid color is like one of the most important things you're gonna do to your painting. Which I guess it kind of is, but it also just depends on how you paint. My whole thing has always been like, it's like painting, and with painting, it's do what feels right to you.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that too.
Yeah,
that's not how I was raised. Everybody has to do it the same way.
The grayscale thing always felt like cheating, but it is like the smart way to do it because you nail all your values and everything before you ever even consider color.
My only problem is that I don't know. To me, I think I see the difference.
Well, that's the whole. For some reason, it has even if it's not actually flat, it has like this innate flatness that I feel like the eye can see.
Because it's not using saturation for the levels; it's using
everything is just one even saturation, pretty much. Or
I should say hue, maybe.
Yeah, there's some artists out there who do a lot of grayscale for their line art, and when it gets colored, it just doesn't really have that pop anymore.
That's the whole thing with your stuff too, which is why I'm like talking to Nick. I was like, I'm leaning more towards just flats on this dude and just like really good color selection, because I'm like, you do actual fucking inking. And there's shadows and things, and heavy shadows. You're not afraid to put black on the page. And that's not really common, at least in mainstream comics anymore. That's why I hate the whole house style thing where everything is just like the hold lines for the character. Or everybody just shades like Jim Lee now or something, and no one's as good as him. But yeah, that's why I'm like normally the more elaborate the art for me, the less color it needs. And that's you see it in like French comics and stuff where they do like watercolor painterly stuff where if it's got a ton of color in it, it's soft hues from the watercolor and it's all done fucking on an expert level. That's my other thing too, is it's like the hyper realized coloring feels more like people covering up their mistakes now than it does people doing like the heightened. There's very few guys that do that like top notch big 2 coloring with all the lens flare and cuts and grads and everything, where I think it genuinely is elevating the art. Like I can't even think of colorists off the top of my head that are doing that anymore.
Did you see that?
There's now a new all
Ritter
indie
posted?
Comics are like desaturated, like 80s, almost like shallow colors. What did Kyle Ritter post?
He posted an example of I think 6 different methods of coloring, airbrush, painterly, flat, lassos, stuff like that.
Yeah.
and kind of ask people like what their favorites were. I don't know about you guys, but you were just saying exactly how I feel. Like I really like that flat look, especially when you have like more detailed inks and stuff, more detailed line work.
The problem too with that is the flats picture he shared. So
the colors were off.
That's the whole thing is flats. Everybody thinks flats are worse because when they think of flats in their head, they think of how you flat when you before you add all the lighting layers and everything, and it augments how the flats react, and they're not all, because normally you flat darker than what the final color is, and you work your way.
Yeah, he wasn't flatting like a mid-tone. He was flatting the dark like shadow tones.
Well, that's how I was taught, is you do like the shadow tone, and then you do your first layer. That's how you get your mid-tone, is your lighting, and then you do your second layer, and you can kind of adjust from there, and you can add a shadow layer if you want to punch in color and do really extremes. Then there's like, beyond flats, there's adding rim lighting and all of that. But when people hear just flat color, a lot of colorists think we want those just the darkest shade, how you start out flatting the book. And it's like, no, you pick flat colors so it looks like, neutral lighting or whatever the lighting calls for and everything. It's just solid colors filled in. So the color tells you, it separates the characters just enough that you need it to, and nothing more, and isn't fucking stomping. Like, it's insane where I look at a page and the artist drew, like fucking 30, 40 different Marvel characters on the page, and I can't see any of them because they're all fading into like the gold glowing background.
Yeah.
Or they just all stand out and
yes,
look like
Colin.
floating characters, because
I'm sorry.
It's always like a gold background or it's like baby blue, and then they're all just floating in baby blue.
1 second. Yes, Colin, that sounds good to me. I always like that.
Pay attention to me.
That's cool. I am down with that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I will slow it up for you. Yeah, this is what I was talking about before, too. So if we're talking about doing a survival horror game, these guys went through and got the average playthrough time of all the games and then also ranked them by their opinion. Resident Evil 2 is only 6 hours. That's like my favorite one.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Resident Evil 3, 6 hours. Resident Evil, 6.5 hours. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, 6.5 hours.
Well, that's because they're measuring from the base.
Yeah, right. Revelations is 8.5. Resident Evil 2 Remake was 8.5. 7. Yeah, see, 7 was 9 hours, and I thought they were getting shorter with the new ones, so that's crazy. Village was also 9 hours, so technically they've gotten longer.
Resident Evil Big Titty.
Revelations 2, which is another one I never played, 10 hours. The Resident Evil remake, this one was long. The one they did on GameCube was 11 hours. But that's why I'm like, man, if me and Mitch can make a game even half as long as like the first Resident Evil, we'll have no problem. And it's just, I'm more focused on doing something that, like I said before, is actually genuinely a scary experience. And yeah, they got longer as they added more action to them and forgot that they were, a survival horror game.
I love Resident Evil 4, though. That was a fun one. Oh,
I do, too, but that was, like, the threshold for me. 5 and 6. 6 is where it, like, completely fell off, and it turned into The Matrix with zombies. Yeah, it had all this shit. There's, like, a scoreboard and stuff, and you played multiple different characters.
I don't know about you, but, like, the Japanese-style gameplay sometimes gets, like, it's too wonky for me. Like, the first Resident Evil games, the gameplay, the movement is kind of weird, and it's kind of clunky, but it's fine. But then after like you get to the second or third game, it's like, all right, now I start to hate it because all these other games are progressing past that. And then like Resident Evil 4 comes out, and it's like, oh, this is awesome, a great new way to change it up. And then they just do that same exact gameplay for the next like however many games. It's like, it feels so old already.
Dead Space did it way better than all of them, even 4, which was insane.
Mm-hmm.
If you have never played through those are worth it, even the later ones that aren't as good.
Watching Ryan color this reminds me did you guys ever go to the WB stores?
Yeah, keep spacing out looking at it. The WB stores? No.
Yeah, the Warner Brothers stores. They used to have a little thing where you could color like a picture of Superman. And it was just a touch screen. You would choose your color and you would tap it and do just like that and fill in the colors of the costume.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah, old days. I still have they had these vinyl like 12-inch figures of Superman and Batman, Lobo, Wonder Woman, and there might have been some other ones. I had 3 of them. They're in my mom's house.
I'm blown away by the concept of a fucking WB store. I'm like, where the fuck did you have those?
They were in the good mall.
And what year was this?
Probably like 93, 94, something like that.
Yeah, I was a fucking toddler.
Because the Batman show was helping launch the popularity.
I got some
Batman the
Taz Converses.
It's like the only thing I was doing in a mall was getting kidnapped. Colin, invite me on. I have things to say. We're not going like crazy long tonight, dude.
We can't understand Australian.
That's racist. What do you want to talk
Colin
about?
comes on, he's just a gator.
I was thinking about doing that. I don't know when I'm going to do it because I'm so fucking busy, but I think I'm going to do like a dude's night.
Yeah, we're due for something like that.
Yeah. We'll have to obviously do it in like a cycle. No dudes left behind, but
I feel like Ryan's recolored this page like 17 times already.
Yeah. Oh, it's mesmerizing. That's why I actually keep spacing out, is he's doing exactly what I do, is he flats everything and then just starts trial and erroring colors and shit. And I'm just like, oh God. But this is also like my favorite part, which is why I think I'm like autistically zoning in on it.
But what do you prefer then, Ryan? Like when it comes to coloring, just like in general, not even like for your own style, but just in general, do you like flat coloring or airbrush stuff, or all the different styles? Like
if I had to choose one, I would go flat because it'll work on. I could make it work on any style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had to choose one, but like Hammerella, I do whatever it calls for, basically. Yeah. Whatever the panel calls for. I mean,
up moment.
I think flat is just so good for comics. Like it's so bold.
I'm honestly shocked nobody's done anything like that, like Ren and Stimpy in the old animated shows, where you make it like really simple and animated, but then you can have like those zoom in close up splash pages and shit. Like I think that feels like
very like manga too. Like
yeah.
If you read like Blade of the Immortal, like a lot of those panels are very simple, and then he'll get to like one splash page where he's just put in all this graphite and created these super detailed drawings.
Every fucking vein on a person's body and shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, is this the same book? Like, I asked Colin what he wanted to talk about, and he says, "Make this dude's night and bring me on." I'm like, the grammar on that. Which dude?
Him.
Yeah, I know. Him.
I like just teasing Colin, like we're gonna bring him on, and then we don't, and then next week we do the same thing.
And then we don't tell him, and we invite him the one night he's working.
Or we invite somebody to cuck him, like we invite like Ginge or somebody else.
Goddamn. Oh, my old roommate Laura. I was like, who the hell just liked my dumb tweet? It looked like an e-girl and kind of is.
You see that? Ryan sucks.
Much diverse, very wow. That made me cry. We have Ginge on. Just invite Ginge right now at almost 3 a.m. Like, what the fuck, you guys? I was sleeping.
Get up, you bitch.
Yeah, it's like I have a show in like 7 hours. Fuck. I'm trying to remember. I had a really good idea the other night for the game stuff that I did not write down. And I wanted to do something with cult stuff, but there's a lot of games with that coming out right now.
Oh, Colin knows lots about games. That's why he's got the itch.
And
because it's media.
I'm like ranting right now, though. I can barely think with you two here. That's my issue. Is like this wasn't even a planned stream or anything.
We're all having like 3 different conversations.
Yeah,
I'm talking coloring. Ryan's not even paying attention. He's just coloring.
Yeah,
talking about games.
Colin, we will have you on a night soon. That's a promise from me. You got
Definitely.
live, man, but not tonight. This is the retarded come down of the podcast recording. Like, these two weren't even going to show up. This was just going to be me drunkenly ranting. I'm going to have to start my own, like, Stavi solves your problems style show, but serious. Not just telling people to jerk off more. Yeah. Oh, god damn it. I gotta stop looking at Ryan's shit. I gotta take Ryan off the screen.
Here, I can.
No, it's fine. It's totally cool because it's interesting to see for everyone. But
Ryan would just dick out instead.
Whomp.
Hang on, I got an idea. Whoa, it looked like a hand.
Bink.
I love
really because it's a foot long.
Tards. Yeah. So I wanted to. I was thinking about doing something with a cult, but there's a lot of cult stuff.
Like a pony?
Yeah, like a cult. 1911.
Like an Indianapolis cult.
Like a beer?
Cult, I guess. God,
like
I have
Manning?
some sort of retarded accent, don't I?
No, it wasn't you at all.
It's
just
impediment.
us being jackasses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, none of you guys realized the other night that I say milk with like an E.
Oh, you're a milk guy?
Like
I
milk,
quit.
like Milk Gibson. Dude, I don't know what it is. I'm completely conscious of it, and I can correct myself, and it comes right back every time.
And that's a very northeastern thing. Like, nobody else does that except for you guys.
I can't fucking help it. It's from like hearing it growing up, and I'm conscious of it, and I hate it. And Beth points it out all the time to the point where I'm like, "Shut up!" I fucking hate it. But I was so surprised the other night. I said it like twice, and then I was like, I got all like self-conscious, even though I wasn't even on screen. I was like, no one noticed, and I was waiting for Beth in chat to be like, "Milk Gibson." She says that. She'll yell at me all the time. I'm like, God damn it.
And you just go on one of Mel Gibson's rants at her?
Yeah, Mel K. Gibson, you boop, boop, boop.
Listen here, sugar tits.
Yeah. I will teach you all.
One of the greatest names ever. He's such a genius.
Oh, that'd be great. We'll have Colin on for a night to teach us Australian. That's a perfect night.
Down here, sugar tits is a term of endearment.
Yeah. Milk Gibbons, famous Australian actor.
Colin, who is your favorite Australian? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Favorite Australian, and then favorite Australian that we would know if it's someone we don't know.
And least favorite Australian.
He answered ahead. It was Milk Gibbons.
It's for both.
It's a real
for
guy.
Both answers.
Yeah, he's the Foster's spokesman.
He's the Prime Minister.
Foster's. It's Australian for dog piss.
Is that even a name? Go Whitlam?
When I was in high school, I knew a girl that went to Australia, and I thought it'd be funny because I think you can drink at a younger age, like 18 there. So I made the joke like, bring me a Foster's from Australia. I want a real Foster's from Australia. And then she did. But the funny thing is it had been bottled in like Michigan or something. So it was legit. She bought it and
hang on. Did you say
back.
your favorite famous Australian or actor? Because this guy's the Prime Minister of Australia. I thought you said actor.
No, I just said Australian. I didn't specify any particular field of Australian.
Yeah, he's just the Prime Minister. I was like, oh, what's this guy in? I heard actor like a retard.
Did they give that Prime Minister the boot?
He looks like a G.
I'd have called him a Chazwazzle. Simpsons.
Yeah, demonetized.
Rad eyebrows. Great eyebrows, that guy. Least favorite is Scott Morrison. God damn, I don't know none of...
I don't know. That's a douchey name, so I believe that he's probably the least
sounds
favorite.
Like a douche. Scott.
They did give him the boot.
Oh, he's another Prime Minister.
We're just getting a civics lesson in Australia.
I love that I know so little about Australia. I don't know any of their Prime Ministers.
I feel like they're all Prime Minister at some point.
Is he?
Like they just kind of toss
one?
it around. It's the chick, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's what she likes to be called.
It's the dame, right?
They got a broad, don't they?
Chicky.
The dame with the mouth that never closes.
That's all of them. Which one? Haha, I'm gonna get us all in trouble tonight. When we log off and Ryan and Jeff both tell me to delete the episode.
It's pronounced Goff.
Oh, it's like a third Jeff.
Shit.
That's an Australian Jeff.
I get called Goff all the time.
Dude, I'm
not even joking. I really do. I get called Goff all the time every time I go out in public.
Seriously?
Yeah,
people have no idea how to say my name.
Like, I've known of other Jeffs before that spelt it like you do, but I just assumed you got that all the time. Like, yeah, I would be losing it.
Like, some people get all pissed off if you don't pronounce the name right, and I'm just like, they're trying. People genuinely try, and you can see the despair in their face when they look at your name, and they have no idea how to say it, and they're like,
I think I've had almost I've had even friends of mine like writing my name down for things spell my name with 2 S's. It's very rarely people spell Spencer with the S and the C like it actually is in my name. And I'm talking like friends who have known me for decades. Like like I could write their name in kindergarten. It rocks. Yeah, I'm gonna probably just employ you guys to help me with the game too. Think of a really cool idea.
You guys think of a really cool idea.
Yeah. You guys make up something and I'll make it into a playable something with Mitch.
Steady Eddie, Colin says, look up. Great Australian comedian who cannot be canceled. You know who sucks is Jim Jeffries.
Oh, God, Jim Jeffries is barely funny.
He used to be great, and he became a douche.
He had, like, one good special, and everybody was like, holy fuck, this dude's hilarious. He put
an egg in his butt.
He was a douche and had, like, wicked hacky bits, like, wicked early. Like, it's the same shit, like... That's why, like, other than podcasts, I stopped checking out a lot of fucking stand-up comedy specials. Even, like, Segura, whose early stuff I really liked, is now just, like, the same thing over and over again. And I still enjoy his podcast, but it's like, damn, dude, I don't know what is going on with stand-up comedy. That's why I was surprised, I'm not surprised, but, like, thrilled that Gillis's is just like rapid fire. I was laughing the whole time and it wasn't just like the same shit over and over again. It's also like it seems like comedy right now is going through that wave of like all the really popular ones are like getting married and having kids and sort of covering the same shit, which like comes in waves with comedy.
I come in ropes.
Yeah.
Damn it, Jeff.
On fire tonight. Always ready for the ropes. Always ready to rope a dope.
Ready to fire him off.
That'd be great. Is he me in a boxing match? Oh, he's doing the rope a dope. And it's just me jerking off on the guy.
I'm not gonna play the audio on this, but that ill game. This is also being made in Unreal Engine.
Adam Hill is also a great Aussie jokester, says Colin. Why is it hard to cancel them though? Anybody can be canceled now, apparently.
Because he's black.
That doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, right. In Australia, it means you're bulletproof.
Larry Elder was yelled at by somebody in a gorilla mask, so I don't think rules apply anymore.
Still like some of the most bonkers shit I've seen in a while.
He's disabled.
Like this,
but Young Crip also
racism
gets
is colorful. It was like a hot pink gorilla mask. That was the most insane thing. It was like, I wonder which side of the aisle this one's on. Like, their shitty tattoos and her nasty titties flopping around everywhere. Don't touch me!
I'm offended by your tits.
I was like, how can you sound Southern, be from California, and also be like a punk rock chick? What the fuck is going on out there? Like,
funny thing, she laid the egg.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ew. Yeah, she actually just threw her love-ins at Larry Elder. Don't touch me! Love-ins! I choose you! Yeah, dude. That ill game though, that wasn't the clip I was looking for. They haven't posted anything in a while, and those guys are over in Russia, if I remember. I think St. Petersburg.
Just like half of Spencer's YouTube channels are Come Town.
Yeah, that's like autoplay always reverts to Come Town, Matt and Shane's, or fucking oh my god, You Fucked It podcast now is the one it keeps recommending, or it would be like serial killer stuff because I'm listening to dark shit to like get into certain modes for a bunch of projects I'm working on.
Mine always autoplays into Your Mom's podcast or Your Mom's House podcast. I haven't watched that in like a year. It's annoying every time.
Mine did that for like 6 months. Anything I watched, like I could be listening to music on YouTube and it would go to Your Mom's House. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, but yeah, now that's why Come Town pops up as all the recommended when like a video ends. It's just like it always throws it. It's like, nope, there's no saving this man. He's doomed.
This is cool.
Yeah, no, this is that one I was showing you guys a while ago, and it was like just this bit here, but they're supposed to be doing like real-time fragmentation of the like body physics and everything, and this is all like features that they developed themselves. This isn't stuff that's built into Unreal Engine, but this is like a cinematic trailer. This is an actual gameplay, so everybody thought it was a scam for a while, but they just announced they secured all the funding like a week ago for financing for the game and everything. So it's going to be a full-fledged game. I don't know if it's going to work exactly like that, but if it does, it's going to be fucking nuts.
Man, look at Colin with all the info tonight. Delete your history on YouTube and you'll get a restart and all of that. He's so helpful tonight.
I don't mind now. It's like before it would like it used to.
Now I feel bad for not bringing him on. He's helping us.
Makeup videos and shit like that.
He says look up the horror game Cloud Meadow.
Cloud Meadow? Why does that sound familiar?
Jeff just said
it. This isn't a horror game. This is that titty game you told us about forever ago.
Got him.
Yeah, hentai game. This is that fucking horny game. You told us about this before.
Well, he misspelled horny.
Yeah.
Oh, he meant now that's why he's telling you to delete your history.
This is why you're not invited on.
You fuck monsters, he says.
All right, you gotta fuck one monster. Which one do you fuck?
Yeah, it was like you breed monsters.
Fuck Godzilla.
He told me that was like a year ago now. He told me to check it out on my own time one night. He's like, you'd probably dig it, man. And I went to the website and I like burst out laughing to myself. And then Beth was like, what are you laughing at? And I couldn't tell her. Oh, the hentai game my buddy just almost convinced me to sign up for.
Fuck one, marry one, kill one. Leatherface, Jason, or Freddy Krueger?
Fucking Leatherface. Killing Freddy, marrying Jason.
You're gonna marry Jason?
Yeah, he loves his mom. That's a boy with good morals.
That was a great answer.
I think that's the end of the game.
I just thought about that one.
Yeah. And Leatherface, he's got like retard strength, so he'd manhandle me. Freddy Krueger does nothing for me. He looks like chewed bubblegum. It'd kind of be like having sex with a man-sized ball sack.
Yeah, but he could transform into something sexy.
Oh, that's
Kill
a good point.
Jason, fuck Freddy, marry Leatherface. Justify that. You're going to marry the retard? Colin likes to be in charge.
Well, there's two retards in that group. I mean, like... but
Jason's a mute.
I think you gotta marry...
out on the quality of brains, because he's a pretty bright guy.
But I'd marry Leatherface, too, because he's, like, human, whereas Jason is a zombie.
Leatherface is toilet trained.
Yeah, they brought back Jason, and...
Jason just shits his pants.
The new movie, Jason talks like Ving Rhames. They have a mansion and a bone collection. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, they have a thriving...
You can get my bone.
They have a thriving furniture business. with an endless supply of materials, people need furniture, and you'll always have people.
See, Freddy's gross, but like that's a great point by Ryan that he might transform into a sassy lady.
Yeah, he's a freak in the sheets. That's the whole pitch to the movie.
I'm a lady on the streets and a freak in the sheets.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Ryan can do Freddy Krueger.
And
That was great.
Yeah, he's down with the gay boys after that second movie, the Leather Daddy Jason movie. Right? It was the second one.
I was really impressed by that impersonation.
Freddy's coming for you. Oh,
Yeah. Can he stop? I'm trying to fucking sleep, dude. He's just jerking off in your nightmare.
All you gotta do is just tell him that you're not a kid, and he'll stop.
Yeah. What happened to killing us in our nightmares?
you're my little dream warrior.
Eventually killing him didn't do it for me anymore.
You show him a picture of modern day Johnny Depp. He's like, ew.
Yeah. I can't believe I wanted to have sex with that.
It looks like Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah. Is that the chick from Fight Club?
But that used to be my theory, was that like Tim Burton couldn't get Johnny Depp, so he got Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that Johnny Depp was Helena Bonham Carter in drag.
He's such a great actor.
That'd be crazy. Tim Burton fucked him for like 6 years. Because they were married, weren't they?
She's missing the same finger piece that Johnny Depp is that Amber Heard cut off or whatever.
I know that they live in different houses across the street from each other.
What?
Yeah, they have separate houses. They don't live together. Like I think they are married technically, but they don't live in the same house because Tim Burton wants to have all creepy shit, and she's like, I want to have a normal house.
They're split now, but they were married for a really long. Yeah, 13 years they were married.
Yeah,
that's why she started being in a bunch of his movies, and like a lot of people didn't know that. Probably because of what Jeff said, I'm pretty sure they did have separate houses for a really long time. Mm-hmm. She like moved nearby him, and they were neighbors, and then became lovers and got married and fucking that's why it would be so fucking funny if like Johnny Depp comes out on his deathbed. By the way, I'm Helena Bonham Carter. Like, my greatest role ever was getting fucked in the ass by Tim Burton for 13 years. I loved you, Timmy. He's married to Lana Geis.
He 21 Jump Streeted him.
Is that her name now?
You thought I was a lady, but really I was undercover Johnny Depp.
Oh man, Tim Burton's wife now looks crazy. She looks like one of those ladies that like kills her husband in like a Lifetime movie. Hang on. I gotta share this just because it's a hard one to nail down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she does.
It's like a Lifetime murder wife.
Like the crazy stepmom or something.
I love when you Google his wife, though, it still just comes up with Helena Bonham Carter.
Hey, you know what? She held up. Still looks good.
Yeah, she still looks like a heroined out Italian lady. That's hilarious. I just typed in this Lana Gaisecki chick, and it's still all pictures of Helena Bonham Carter. God damn.
That's some good PR.
Yeah, dude. You fucking... She was just Amazon banging Tim Burton so hard he's never gonna, not even Google's gonna remember any other woman in his life. That's insane. And she never even took his last name either. She was never Helena Bonham Burton.
Fuck her then.
There can only be one Bottom Burton.
It's weird. She looks so out
You're
of
my
her
bottom
mind.
Burton.
She looks like, you know, like she's like a knockout 1 minute, and then like she looks almost like she could be like Marissa Tomei's cousin in some pictures, and then she looks like dead Marissa Tomei who OD'd on heroin in other pictures.
That's still hot.
Lisa Marie and Tim Burton. She looks like a nice girl.
Lisa Marie Presley?
No. That's not Lisa Marie Presley.
Lisa Marie Mars Attacks Lisa Marie.
I don't know who that is.
Sense.
You do, Jeff. You do.
Tim
No, I
Burton-
don't.
Tim Burton with more whores.
Oh, Eva Green.
The
Eva
alien,
Green.
the sexy blonde alien in Mars Attacks with the big.
Oh, okay.
boob.
Yeah, Eva
Yeah.
Green's great because she is genuinely awkward as shit. I actually just watched an interview with her recently where I'm like, she seems wildly autistic.
She's just French.
But she doesn't even she seems like she doesn't even fit in with a French crowd, dude. There was one of the interviews I was watching, they asked them what their favorite emoji is, and she was like, "What's an emoji?" It's like, this woman is amazing.
He's taxidermying a cow or something at the moment.
Yeah, it's like she has no clue what anything is. Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter and Tim Burton just both look like they've been on angel dust for 30 years. Tim Burton looks like he was found under a bridge.
And that's where
he was grown. Yeah.
Yeah. We almost got a Tim Burton, Nicolas Cage, Superman. Right?
Whoa.
That was them.
I'm flying.
Yeah. Whoa.
But I still hear him yelling kryptonite like he does at the end of what's the Hit Girl movie?
Oh yeah, Kick-Ass.
It's like, oh no, it's Lex Luthor and his kryptonite!
Or just flipping out like Vampire's Kiss. Could you imagine a Superman yelling at people, "What do you think? I'm a fucking retard?" Laser blasting people to death because he decides that his Superman should have a manic breakdown in the middle of the movie.
God, that Willy Wonka sucks so bad. Just seeing that picture reminded me of it.
Tim Burton
Ugh.
either makes some of the most interesting and out there things, or just the nerdiest shit ever, where he really needs someone to tell him no. And eventually these auteur dudes get so big that people don't do that anymore.
His little cult fanboys are annoying, but he did make some really good movies, and he has an individual style. It's just unfortunate that he keeps making these shitty remakes of Disney movies.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Is I couldn't imagine him if his whole run was just more adult stuff, and not he's always riding this line where it's in between the threshold of adult and childish. And then it started becoming more and more kiddie stuff. I still think Edward Scissorhands is a fucking perfect movie, and it's so out there and weird. To try and pitch that on paper today would be fucking impossible.
There's no social angle to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's just quirky and weird.
Not current.
That was shot in Tampa.
Not anything.
It has universal morals.
And
can't have that anymore.
It's not like Tarantino has any movies I can think of where it's oh man, you don't think maybe you wasted your time on this one? Where Burton, it's damn man, I can't imagine what he would have done if he didn't do shit like Frankenweenie and a lot of other stuff. Because Frankenweenie might have been cool if that wasn't so much 3D animation and weird shit. And just a lot of wasted time on something that was literally just to check a box on his childhood.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. And then he doesn't really seem to even care if it connects with kids at the end of the day. It's literally just he's getting it out of his head. So I respect it in that artistic regard, but it's also kind of weird that you're making sort of shit that isn't really as even anywhere near as cerebral as the stuff you were doing 20 years ago that was still acceptable for kids.
Well, it's just he's putting a Tim Burton skin on a Disney franchise. He's not really transforming it in any real Tim Burton way. Because that fucking Alice in Wonderland's not Beetlejuice or something,
of his own stuff. Oh, is he doing the Addams Family? Addams Family live action coming to Netflix, yes. That's why I've been mixing that up with the Munsters, because there is one coming for that too. God damn it. We are doomed. And isn't there like just like a show called Wednesday coming or something
Who
like
will
that?
win, Rob Zombie or Tim Burton?
That's just about the daughter and she's like Latino.
Oh my gosh. I don't care about that as much as we just don't need a show just about Wednesday.
Me, Thursday.
Yeah, that bitch is way cooler.
With Tom Jane and Aaron
Did they
Eckhart.
just turn it into a full-on Addams Family show? I don't even know anymore.
Now it's the Eve family. It's more inclusive that way.
Oh my god, shoot me now. Yeah, everybody was saying it should have been Johnny Depp and Ava Green, and instead it's Catherine Zeta-Jones and I think Luis Guzman.
I don't know, Jeff. Family's a 4-letter word now.
You know what? I kind of like Luis Guzman in that role just because, like, you know, he's kind of a gross-looking dude.
And he's going to get to smash with fucking Catherine Zeta-Jones. And
but she's not... And she looks too weird now. Like, she doesn't look like weird hot. She looks like an old weird lady. Fake plastic face.
That's what cancer pussy does to you.
Fucking Typhoid Mary.
Yeah. Well, when you fuck Michael Douglas long enough, it sucks the life out of you.
Pandemic pussy.
Oh, man, she does. She kind of looks like a witch now.
Yeah, not a hot one either.
Yeah, like an eat you and your baby witch.
Oh, this is more like the Baba Yaga than the Bewitched kind.
Yeah.
Kind of
it doesn't even look like plastic surgery,
mom.
though, either. It literally looks like just like the breakdown of your tissue from like chemo or whatever. Like her nose even looks like it like shifted.
Yeah, she has those giant cheekbones and everything now.
Well, it's that, yeah. It's
filler.
Like, I don't know if it's like the collagen or something in your skin breaks down, but it looks like your face starts to get puffy after you take chemo, and you can even like not be a fat person and still look like weirdly puffy.
Yeah, hers is just filler though.
Wacky reactions. I don't think it is. She was never like a big That's why she like faded away way before everyone else was. She refused to do a ton of plastic surgery. Like, she was, like, out of Hollywood really fucking quick.
Hey, look how hot What's-Her-Face is in the original Addams Family. Was it Glenn Close? No. Houston. It was Angelica Houston.
Angelica Houston, that's what it is. That's not even the original, though, isn't it? I thought there was one before that.
Well,
we get in the original TV show.
Yeah.
But in the movies with Raul Julia and stuff.
Angelica Houston's one of those like weird looking.
Yeah.
What's that?
Those movies are so fucking good still. That's why I'm
They're
like,
great.
I get remaking something when it was dog shit. Like, why don't we do that maybe? Like, find these cool Grindhouse movies that sucked balls and remake those with a big budget. But why are we remaking shit that is literally perfect? Instead, just give it a feature re-release in theaters. Be like, hey, for this week only, you can go see the fucking Addams Family movies back to back in theaters and introduce your kids to fucking movies when they were good instead of remaking them.
You know what's funny?
Like the Addams Family. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, at least with the Addams Family, though, it's something that, you know, it started off as a comic, then there was an animated series, then there was the live action TV series, then there's a series of movies. And so it's something that's at least there is consistent track record of them trying to reintroduce it to the next generation each time in a respectful way to the medium and to the project, to the project and stuff. So it's like, I'm kind of like, maybe they could pull it off.
But they got the show coming with fucking Tim Burton, and they literally just did an animated movie for it.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, see, that's weird. I forgot about that because I'm
they're doing that too with the new Batman movie. There's already talks of doing a Penguin HBO Max show. I think the movie hasn't even dropped yet. You're already franchising it.
Remember when that movie was announced and it was, Matt Reeves, the first director, getting a crack at the one-off Batman movies, and they're already like talking about franchising the fuck out of it because they're already projecting a ton of money off the spin-offs for the Suicide Squad shit. That's what I was saying. Suicide Squad shit was the quickest reboot we've ever seen. That's exactly what that was. They basically barely acknowledged the first movie at all. I wouldn't be surprised now if the other guys show back up in like random tangential shit like the Peacemaker series or something. like Will Smith has really fallen off in the last 2 years, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in something soon.
Wait, what is this Colin's talking about with Popeye? There's a new Popeye show? It took away his pipe. He no longer hits. Bluto doesn't have a beard. What is happening with the world?
I don't know, but I do know that Genndy Tartakovsky just got his re-greenlit, which has at least the trailer he built for it has plenty of Rock'em Sock'em Popeye.
Yeah, that was great.
But yeah, it was shelved, and then sometime in the last year, I think it got greenlit. I'd have to look that up. But
did you ever see the fucking? I can't remember the company off the top of my head, but the guys who did the proof of concept for the Goon movie.
Yeah, that was David Fincher and I think Blur Studios.
That's
the ones that did the opening for Girl with Dragon Tattoo. They did that, and Deadpool, I think too.
Huge fans of it. And they couldn't get any studio to fucking pay for it.
It looked great.
I think Paul Giamatti did one of the voices.
Yeah. And wasn't it Ron Perlman as the Goon?
I think you might be right, yeah.
Or maybe Clancy Brown, I can't remember.
Oh man, so this is how hopeful people are. So the video...
They brought it back on Kickstarter last year, and it's funded. It's getting made.
Oh shit.
By Blur Studios.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
They raised almost $500,000 to make it.
I was going to say, this is so sad. I just looked it up on YouTube, and whoever had put it up, they put it up 12 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And 2 years ago, somebody commented, I know it's old, but I've been thinking about this again for some reason. I hope it comes out one day. Sigh.
Yeah, because Powell was like on board day one and like worked through the whole project with them. Like the entire team was behind it. Blur were huge fans of it. Like it was basically Clancy Brown is the voice of the Goon. That's who it was. I was like, it's somebody with a gravelly voice. So I said, you might be right. But yeah, Clancy Brown was the Goon. Paul Giamatti was Frankie. And fucking, I was so excited for this and didn't even... That's what I mean, though, is like there's so much going on in comics. I didn't even hear they brought it back for a Kickstarter. Like,
did you ever see the Brad Bird, The Spirit cartoon from the 80s?
What? I don't think so.
Yeah, it was like they were trying... It was another pilot thing. They had done a bunch of animation for it, trying to get I don't know if it was a movie or a TV series, but they were doing an animated The Spirit. And it's, obviously much closer to the original Will Eisner stuff than Frank Miller.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pencil test right now. The pencil test trailer. I just pulled it up.
It's really cool.
Yeah, this is already awesome. It's like animated Will Eisner.
Oh my God. The campaign didn't come back in 2020. That's the last update. They got funded in 2012 and they're still actively working on it.
Oh shit.
Oh, jeez.
Because Powell keeps making revisions to the script.
Really? That's the reason?
What is he, me?
At this very moment, Powell is working on script revisions. Things are still moving forward. We had quite a few setbacks. Oh, the Disney Fox buyout fucked with things. There's no fucking way Disney would make a Goon film, but we have, and we'll continue to keep pushing past this shit until it's done.
I read the first run of Goon and liked it, and I liked Eric Powell's run on Conan. Back, like, what was it, like Dark Horse or whatever it was that was doing it?
What a fucking mess, dude.
He has some good stories in there, but I haven't read anything else really. He did a Bizarro story I wasn't a big fan of.
He did a biopic comic of Ed Gein recently.
Oh, really?
You heard what Ed Gein did, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, it's going to be featured on it's going to be on a future episode of the comic strip. Don't talk about it. No. Wait, no, it is, but I'm just kidding about don't talk about it.
Oh fuck, you got him on?
No. Someone's doing a feature on the book.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say it looks really good. I just haven't picked it up yet.
I'd hit him up.
Yeah, he would be a really cool one to have on. Yeah, did you heard what Ed Gein done? And it's like all grayscale.
I've always liked his art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's He's a diehard comics guy, which is
Mhm.
what I dig about him. Was it Albatross his company?
Well, like just mentioning Brad Bird, like he always gave me that like kind of classic animation kind of look to his art.
Him and Paul Pope always struck me as like weirdo comic guys who I just like love. I don't care what the fuck they're about at all. I just love that they're in comics and making shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even read Paul Pope stuff. I don't mean that as an insult. Like I eventually do, but like I buy his books and I'll look at them from front to cover for years, and then I'll be like, "Oh, I didn't actually ever read this."
Can't tell you a single writer on like any of the books of his that I've read. I get them because they're Paul Pope books. Like
I think he writes them all.
I thought he's done. Did he write that Batman one on his own?
Yeah.
Then I've just phased it all out and never paid attention. I thought he had worked with other writers. That's what I mean, though, is I'm like, it's literally, I'm just like, I'm there for the visual storytelling. I would almost just take Paul Pope just doing silent issues all the time. I'm the goon now. What's up, Ash and Jackal? Yeah, that is so sad to know that they have been producing that movie for 9 years and they're still getting fucked. I just read through that.
Like Chinese democracy.
Yeah, well, I just read through that update, and literally, like, every time they've started making headway, they've done rewrites, or the studio that owns half of it sells to someone, and it's now owned by Disney, so they had to buy themselves out from under Disney.
Ugh.
That's why I just hate that shit, man. I'm just like, you got to really think about, you're making a decision right now, but think about 10 years down the line, like...
The next Avenger, the Goon.
Like, speaking of Paul Pope, what happened to Battling Boy? That got greenlit for a movie with Jason Mantzoukas like 7 years ago now. It feels like it's been forever.
And he hasn't made a comic in a while either.
Yeah. He seems like he's probably one of those like punk weirdos that's taking all of the nonsense going on in the world really hard right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's holding him up. But yeah, Battling Boy, I remember that came out, and
that's cool. I have it right there myself.
Within a year, that was greenlit for a movie, like in secret, and then Jason Mantzoukas started talking about how he was attached to it, and I was like, that is going to be so fucking weird, but I'm so stoked for that. And now it's not happening, I don't think. I wonder if that's another one of the ones that was just buried by Fox. That's another thing. A lot of these guys, fucking... Like, I imagine Paul Pope especially, they do shit like this and everything. He probably does a lot of commercial art that people don't even fucking really know about.
Oh, yeah, he did stuff for, like, DKNY and everything.
Yeah. So, like, it probably makes his money elsewhere, and it's probably really fucking defeating when you put your heart into shit like that, you get movie deals, and they fall through. There's a lot of people who just fucking shut down after stuff like that. It's a bummer, but that's the reality of things.
He's a dude that truly loves comics. Like, you listen to him talk about it, he's so passionate about it, he cares about all the stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Did you ever read Paul Pope, his art book? He talks about all his influences, and it breaks it down from, like, his influence from all the Japanese stuff, and then, all the classic American stuff. It's really cool.
He's in a magazine with Chuck Norris called Empty.
Is he really?
Why not?
Paul Pope, The Greats, Chuck Norris, Chopper Reed, Adam Cullen, Cold Cut, Floria Sigismondi, Ron English, and Stuntwood. Empty magazine, and he did the cover for the issue. I don't know what Chuck Norris does in it, but it's like, I'm assuming that has to be like the Chuck Norris.
I want karate pants.
Yeah.
Came here to do two things.
What is it?
Sell pants and
Gotham
awesome.
Year. I always want to say Gotham Year.
Just standing there with your balls hanging out.
I always want to say Gotham Year 1, and it's Year 100. I need to get a copy.
Batman Year 100, yeah.
Yeah, Batman Year 100. Jesus.
I still need to get Heavy Liquid. I have every other book.
Sounds like porno.
You want that Heavy Liquid, baby?
Yeah, Heavy Liquid's great. I got that here.
Batman Year 100, where Batman looks like he does acid.
Where Batman fights football players that are cops.
Of course.
And dogs that are thugs.
He has crazy teeth.
Yeah, doesn't he have like iron jaws or some crazy shit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the fake teeth he puts in. Which is also in Frank Miller and Darren Aronofsky's Batman Year 100 script. Bruce Wayne gets all his teeth knocked out, and he has these metal chompers he puts in.
That's always the cool thing about Frank Miller with Daredevil or Batman. He was always thinking so much about the physicality of things.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, come on, 60 years of Batman being around, and then finally someone was like, I bet this guy's teeth would be knocked the fuck out. Like, damn
God
it. Or like
damn.
all the stuff with Daredevil where he's like, Daredevil has to take a whole issue just to heal right now.
A brand new copy of Year 100 is $41 on Amazon.
Damn.
I'll sell you mine for 30.
Yeah, right.
I love the image.
Pick it up at a shop.
I love the image too, though, of like this guy who's trying to scare people. In the past, like in the 40s, he just wears a crazy mask. And then Paul Pope and Frank Miller on their own respective stuff are like, no, he needs to do something else to be crazier nowadays. So let's give him some fucked up teeth. Just when you see him smile, it's like, what the fuck is that thing?
No, that's awesome stuff.
And he has that like weird harness, in Batman Year 100, so he can hang down all these weird poses and stuff.
Is he also like wearing a sweater?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah,
he's wearing like
turtleneck,
old.
Yeah,
he's wearing like old boxing shorts.
Yeah, it's like literally like a crew collared sweater, like a champion sweater. Like I remember it's like the fucking ruffled not sleeves. Why can't I wrists?
Cuffs.
Jesus, thank you, Jeff. Dude, I'm shutting down.
Jeff's always thinking about cuffs. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about you and me later tonight.
Someone spit a drink all over my screen. God damn.
Colin says that's why I like the Marvel Max Punisher, where he was an old man who pisses blood. Yeah, I agree. That's my favorite version of the Punisher, where it's just an ordinary dude, like a real human being. I mean, just in this crazy situation where he's getting beat up and broken bones and all fucked up, but he just keeps going out there and doing it because he's dedicated. But he's not a superhero. He's not healing up and going through all that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's like you're getting blown up and the shit beat out of you constantly. Yeah, you're gonna piss a little bit of blood. Like you're gonna have a bad time. You're not gonna
whenever I draw the Punisher, I always draw him with a broken nose.
I used to at 30. Like fucking, what are you gonna be doing at 50 when you've been getting your ass kicked for 25 years? Like,
I always draw the Punisher with a broken nose and cauliflower ears.
Yeah, that's why I love Goran Parlov. Is literally like the dude's a brick wall, but he also looks like he's been beaten in a couple of times. Like, fucking the guy,
he's all chipped and scratched.
Yeah, he's a character who, like, even without the outfit, like his face alone should tell a couple of stories.
Well, that's why I like old man Punisher more than like trying to update him and make him like an Afghanistan war veteran or something like that.
Yeah,
like I like the idea of just a guy who was a Vietnam vet who's like 70 who's still just out there doing it.
It's like a crazy old dude with a handlebar mustache in the regular Marvel universe now. That's the kind of shit I would write, though, and that will never fly again in the Marvel universe. Like a world where, like, the 90s continuity kept going and everybody just aged into miserableness. Like, that's sort of part of Hellseekers, is there's some characters that are kind of like a nod to that, but I didn't want the whole series to just feel like a parody. I need to learn how to draw busted faces. It's kind of like a less is more mentality. That's what I mean. Like, Punisher was always cool because he's like, there's interesting ways to like draw a beat up character without just doing like, oh, he's got a scar on his eye. Like a guy who's seen some shit in wartime. There's a lot more cool stuff you can do. Like Jeff is saying, the broken nose and everything. That's kind of how Parlov does it too. He's got like a big fucked up nose. Eyes are kind of slightly further apart than more people, a little bit squintier. So he always looks like he's like gazing through you.
Plus, that always looked to me like when you do that with characters, it always looks like they've either been hit more in the face or used their head to headbutt. Now, your eyes would not really go wider, but that's the
like
feel.
you turned yourself into like a hammerhead shark.
Right.
That's what I mean, though, is like there's just like this map of brutality on their head and everything. And then if you also demonstrate that in the comic, it it works great, hand in hand, paired together. That's the kind of stuff I'm trying to do with the Bad Men Die comic that I'm going to do on the Patreon. Is I just want to do like a really violent, like essentially like a Hitman. It's like a bunch of ideas for Punisher that I couldn't fit into like an actual superhero story, so I'm just doing like a crime comic that'll be simple and little short stories all in this contained world. I'm thinking of making it really weird. Not like Sin City, but I like the idea of it being like this fictitious place where all different gangs exist and they all wear weird masks and stuff. Like almost like it should have superpowers in it, but it doesn't. But I'm going to make it really dumb. It's going to feel like a really bad Grindhouse movie from the 80s. Dicks getting shot off and stuff.
Yeah, Venom Snake rules, Colin.
Venom Snake, you nerds. It's all about Big Boss. Venom Snake
it's all about big balls.
Isn't even Snake. Don't get me started.
We're all Snake now.
Penis. That was the point all along. Ryan, can love bloom on the battlefield? Go.
It's a 2-hour cutscene talking about balls and penises. The snake was always a penis inside of you.
Metal Gear Rock Solid.
Damn it, Kojima.
I like the idea of a whole night where we just ask Ryan really obscure video game questions that he couldn't possibly know the answer to.
Dun, 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 dun.
You never answered, Ryan. Can love bloom on a battlefield?
Love can only bloom on a battlefield.
Oh, shit.
The gayest of love.
This guy's a liar. He's totally played Metal Gear.
Ryan's a weeb.
Amazing. Oh, man, it's fucking 3:30. I said I was going to pop on for a half hour.
That's why we agreed to come on with. We were like, yeah, it'll only be a half hour.
Yeah, that's perfect. We went for almost an hour and a half. So yeah, we'll wrap it up for the night because I'm gonna get some a little bit of some sketching done for the comic.
Hey, have Colin will stream, right?
Yeah. Look, the scene of "You're All Diamonds" had me bawling like a toddler when I got to it. Oh yeah, in Metal Gear 5. Yeah.
Diamond Dogs.
It's good. It just the game makes me sad because we didn't get the ending we deserved.
Raiden naked on a bed.
Yes.
Spread eagle.
Yes. This is what we all deserve. The price is 20% higher than the lower price we found on Amazon over the last. Oh, so somebody raised the price in the last 2 weeks on Batman Year 100 on Amazon. Pretty fucked up.
Pretty sneaky, sis.
They knew I was coming. Yeah, no, we'll wrap it up, though. It's fucking 3:30 in the morning. We got Jeff staying up late again. We're getting him all fucked up. He's going to sleep till like 2 in the afternoon tomorrow.
I know. I was a real boy for a minute.
Yeah, a day. His wife is going to hate me when she meets me. Yeah, thank you dudes for hanging out. Thank you for watching. New podcast episode will be up tomorrow.
Hit it too soon.
Patreon.com/deathcurse. New episode goes up tomorrow. See you later, dudes.